This house is embedded in the forest and it's a symbiotic relationship. One thing the forestry gets from me is good PR. I've written publicity stuff about the progressive policies. One thing I get from the forest is shelter. So I was a wee bit alarmed when I heard that there's clearfell planned to the west of here. Here's 3 photos I took within half an hour of each other on the 22nd of March. Just to show how different the climate is. From the main Rothiemay Road you can see there's a bit of snow on the hills. When you go into the forestry office there's daffodils and not really any snow lying. But up at the house at the same time there's 4 inches of snow lying. So it's more or less a different climate or a different planet. By some historical accident there's a bit of the forest that's inside the line that's marked as my garden on the map. But this raised pink area is mostly outside the line, and it must always have been part of the garden because it includes the well and it includes an area that's outlined with old posts. There's 2 wells here, the modern one's covered with corrugated iron and the old original hut. There doesn't seem to be a spring right at the well itself. Maybe the pipe comes down from in the forest here somewhere. And here's the outline where there's still the remains of a fence around this D-shaped plateau to the west of the house. If the clearfell plan goes ahead, I hope that this light triangle will be treated as a special case. I understand that the timber that's on it is barely worth covering, well, it might or might not cover the cost of the harvesting. So as felled timber it's not any big asset to the Forestry Commission, but it's a huge asset to somebody who's trying to live here in this climate. Also, the flora of the valley is an interesting ecosystem with floating islands of watercress on a deep bog. Also, I'm scared that the well might get damaged with the machinery and the bog would get trashed, of course. Here's my proposal for how everybody gets the best of all worlds out of the whole area. I've managed my own tiny bit of forest as what the American foresters call TSI, timber stand improvement, where you brush the sides to keep them growing tall and straight. And improving the woodland by controlling the amount of light and the amount of wind that you let in is as important, equal priorities with the amount of wood you get out of it. There's plenty being talked about firewood as a new fuel, and it's even got its own fan club newsletter, and there's loads of interest and funding available for anything that's to do with zero carbon. So here's what I'm proposing. That the Forestry Commission and myself should be partners in setting up this area as an example of best practice in what the American foresters call the homestead woodlot. The Commission could be leading into the future here, and the material, the skill and the enthusiasm are all here right on site. A second best option would be just to declare the area as unharvestable and leave it as a sort of wild area. When they did the clearfell, they agreed to leave me 2 acres of pine at the back of the house, so when it's windy like this, it's still comfortable being in the garden, so I'm happy with the outcome. Also, there's more light comes in through the thin trees